Hello everyone, you have come to Tata Comic Preview channel. Let read together. Have fun. This is an art collage novel video. I made this series so you guys can experience the story faster. The video will focus on the character's psychology, the images are for illustration purposes only. Zhenghai gripped his jasper saber tightly. His palm was wet with sweat. Huang Shiji was stunned, he did not expect this turn of events. Naturally, he should be aligning himself with the Nether Sect. He truly did not expect Nine-Leaf Lu was so bold as to make an enemy out of the evil Sky Pavilion. This? What am I supposed to do? Zhenghai had never liked indecisive people. Brother Shiji, this has nothing to do with you. If you're afraid, you should leave right now. Huang Shiji said with a sigh, just as well. Since I made a choice, I can't possibly give up halfway. Penglai Island will stand with the Nether Sect. Good. It means a lot to hear you say that, Brother Shiji. The jasper saber in Zhenghai's hand shone with a golden radiance. Wuya frowned deeply. Their battle would start at any moment. He said again, my master, Ji Tiandao, is on his way here. This was the greatest countermeasure they could use against Nine-Leaf Lu. Unfortunately, Lu Zhou did not seem to care at all. Young man. You're too green. As soon as Lu Zhou finished speaking, he moved his hand. He decided to launch a preemptive strike. The jasper saber flashed brightly before it shot toward Lu Zhou. When the jasper saber approached Lu Zhou, a bluish radiance could be seen between his index and middle fingers. He brought his fingers together. Bam! The energy saber scattered, and the jasper saber fell into Lu Zhou's hand. It was deathly quiet at this moment. A nine-leaf cultivator was outrageously powerful. The others felt their scalps tingle when they witnessed his strength. He casually stopped a heaven-grade weapon with his bare hands. Where would they find the courage to act recklessly after witnessing this? If a nine-leaf elite went all out, not a single person here would survive. Who would be bold enough to move? Zhenghai was a peak 8-leaf cultivator who lived up to his name. Although that strike was not his most powerful attack, it was not a technique that any ordinary person could deflect with their bare hands. He gulped. I'll kill anyone who moves, and I'll kill their entire family as well. The voice resonated loudly in the Great Hall. Lu Zhou's words were clearly meant for Huang Shiji and the Nether Sect disciples. With this bold claim, the atmosphere turned even tenser. Fear rose in everyone's heart. Even the bravest among them were cowed by these words. Lu Zhou said in a deep voice, apart from Zhenghai, everyone, get lost. The atmosphere was heavy. Huang Shiji had never felt such a pressure. Although he was an 8-leaf expert with a high social standing, he had no choice but to lower his head at this moment. Everyone in the Great Hall was stunned. When Lu Zhou saw everyone remained unmoving, he said, stay here if you want to die. Zhenghai's eyes widened. They were bloodshot. He looked at his jasper saber between Lu Zhou's fingers, afraid to make a move. He knew the Nether Sect would fall if he made a move now. Get out. Zhenghai said. The others pulled long faces. Sect Master. Eldest senior brother. Zhenghai glanced at them as he said, I'm the master of this sect. Even if the skies were to fall, I'll carry it on my shoulders. Get out now. His thunderous voice reached everyone's ears. He understood now, Nine-Leaf Lu came to rain on his parade. Eldest senior brother. Wuya wanted to say something else. At this moment, Zhenghai waved his arm. A powerful blast of energy pushed Wuya out of the hall. Feeling helpless, Huang Shiji cupped his fists at Zhenghai and left the Great Hall. The others had no choice but to leave the Great Hall as well. It was meaningless to make unnecessary sacrifices. Zhenghai understood this. Lu Zhou turned to look at Conk. He noticed that she was unaffected by the sound wave. At this moment, there was a blur of movements as Zhenghai leaned forward. Countless palm seals sailed toward Lu Zhou. Even if you're a 9-leaf cultivator, I'll still fight. Bam. 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 As Zhenghai attacked, a crushing aura washed over Zhou. He raised his hand and struck with his palm. The script's imperial order combined with a blue palm seal shot out. Bam. Zhenghai's countless palm seals immediately scattered as he reeled back. His mind was blank at this moment. It only took him a move. Is this the power of a 9-leaf cultivator? There was a time when he thought he could also enter the world of the 9-leaf stage. He did not think the 9-leaf stage was much more powerful than the 8-leaf stage. After all, when he was young, he had once killed a 5-leaf cultivator when he was only a 3-leaf cultivator. After one rise above the 7-leaf stage, there were rarely instances of defeating a higher rank cultivator. The difference of a single leaf was as great as the distance from the clouds to the ground. Although Zhenghai knew it was impossible for an 8-leaf cultivator to best a 9-leaf cultivator, the fact that he was defeated with a single strike dealt a huge blow to his confidence and self-esteem. Boom. Zhenghai crashed into the wall of the Great Hall. There was now a huge hole there. At the same time, he slid for a long distance before he stopped. The Nether Sect disciples outside the Great Hall, Wang Shiji, and Wuya, stood there in stunned silence. A full-fledged 8-leaf cultivator could not withstand a single hit from a 9-leaf cultivator. Zhou stepped forward and walked through a hole in the wall. He was now behind the wall of the Great Hall. The night was pleasing, and stars dotted the dark skies. Stand up, Zhou said. Zhenghai bit back the pain and slammed his palm on the ground to bring himself to his feet. Thud. Zhenghai had barely risen half a foot when he crashed down again. He was shocked. Where's my cultivation base? He attempted to circulate the primal chi inside his Dantian sea of chi at once. He discovered it empty, as if it was bound in a cage. Zhou moved closer. His aura was that of a lofty and unshakable mountain. Zhenghai could barely breathe from the pressure. Boom. Zhenghai suddenly stomped his feet and charged at Zhou like a wild beast. He flailed his fists in a savage manner. Bam. 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 Zhou parried the blows with his palm. Punches without a cultivation base were like mere rocks. How could he be a match for Zhou now? Bam. 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 Zhenghai attacked wildly. When Zhou was bored of parrying, he pushed forward. Boom. Zhenghai reeled back again. He rolled on the ground, surprisingly uninjured. Zhou was shocked. Was this the characteristic of the Wookieans? Outwardly, he looked down at Zhenghai and asked, "Is that all you've got?" Zhenghai gritted his teeth. He struggled and pushed himself off the ground with a single hand. "I'll teach you a lesson on behalf of your master." Another huge palm seal was launched. At the same time, a pair of shining golden wings shot toward Zhou from behind. The pair of wings spanned dozens of feet. Thousands upon thousands of energy needles shot toward him. Zhou flipped his palm. Unnamed morphed into a shield. His energy gathered around the shield and formed a light shield. Boom. It deflected all the energy needles. Wuya immediately gave up on the attack and continued flying forward. Trying to take him away? Zhou struck with his palm again. Another strengthened binding cage card emerged. Unlike the binding mantra, this bore the symbols of the Imperial Order. It struck Wuya at lightning speed. He fell to the ground immediately, his cultivation was sealed. He flipped over and retreated until he was next to Zhenghai. "Eldest senior brother, I'll hold him off." "You should go." Zhenghai sighed. "My wise brother, you're a fool. While there's life, there's hope." "That won't do. The Nether Sect cannot do without you." Zhou looked at the two of them. He shook his head and said, "Are you still thinking of running away after being hit by my palm seals?" He got closer. At this moment, Wuya finally realized both of them had lost access to their primal chis. He trembled inwardly. Ding. Captured the rascal, Zhenghai. Reward, 1,000 merit points. Having experienced this several times, Zhou was not surprised. With the effects of 2 strengthened binding cage cards, it was only natural that Zhenghai and Wuya were unable to break free. This was the second time Wuya was hit with this card. It seemed like the effects were just as effective. When Zhou used the first strengthened binding cage card, he infused it with some of the heavenly writing's extraordinary power so that he would not be harmed by Zhenghai's energy. He felt fortunate that things were still within his control. He kept these 2 cards especially for him. Wuya parted the front of his robe and lowered his head to look. Under the dim moonlight, the words Imperial Order were especially eye-catching. This was not a bind as he had expected. He said in shock, the Celestial Master Sect's technique? However, he did not think the old man before him was a member of the Celestial Master's sect just because of this. This technique reminded him of his master's binding mantra. Both techniques shared quite a lot of similarities. He looked up and studied the old man again. Zhou stepped forward. When he was about 3 meters from them, he looked at Wuya and asked, "You wish to die as well?" Before an expert, all plots and schemes were meaningless. Wuya said, "If I stood by idly, I would be doing a disservice to my eldest senior brother, the Nether Sect, and the teachings of my master." Wuya's actions surprised Zhou. He remembered what Zhu Honggong told him. Wuya had rescued Zhu Honggong, Yu Shangrong, and Yu Zhenghai. Now, he was still trying to save Yu Zhenghai. At this moment, Yu Zhenghai stood up. He placed a hand on Wuya's shoulder, pulled him back, and said in a deep voice, "I've told you. This has nothing to do with you. Why must you be this stubborn, eldest senior brother?" Wuya asked with a frown. "Listen to me on this." Yu Zhenghai's expression was dark as he sternly said, "Get lost." Yu Zhenghai pushed Wuya to the side again. He had no other choice. It was not easy for the Nether Sect to rise to its heights today. He had already come up with a countermeasure. This was nothing but a branch. Worst case scenario, he could just give it up. As long as there was life, there would be hope. Yu Zhenghai was no stranger to death. He had been bullied many times in the past. He met Zhou's eyes and said, "One should answer for one's actions." Very well. Zhou placed a hand on his back and extended a hand before himself. "I won't bully you. I won't be using any primal chi. If you can defeat me, I'll spare you." Yu Zhenghai was slightly stunned. He did not know why this old man would target him. He had no quarrel with him. He was baffled. Whoosh. Yu Zhenghai charged forward with a punch. Zhou sidestepped him and tackled him with his shoulder. Bam. Yu Zhenghai flew to the side. Ding. Punished Yu Zhenghai. Reward, 500 merit points. Is that all? Zhou's achievements in body tempering was not inferior to Yu Zhenghai. Yu Zhenghai had experienced countless setbacks and sufferings. Under his master's watch, he had converted his past experiences and misfortunes into motivation to work harder. Could he not defeat an old man without his primal chi? No. Yu Zhenghai got to his feet again and charged. His fist whooshed through the air, and his attacks rained down on Zhou. Zhou dealt with the attacks calmly. He parted the winds of the punches with his fierce palm strikes. As the saying went, 4 ounces could move 1,000 caddies. Bam. Yu Zhenghai reeled again. Ding. Punished Yu Zhenghai. Reward, 500 merit points. Again. Yu Zhenghai cried out, enduring the pain. The cycle repeated itself over and over again. Huang Shiji and Hua Chongyang did not leave. At this moment, they walked into the hole on the wall as well. They stared at the scene before them with their mouths agape. So, this is how a 9-leaf beats up an 8-leaf? Huang Shiji said incredulously. He felt as though he was watching a senior beating up a junior. It did not seem like the old man was trying to look cool. I wouldn't have believed it if I didn't see it myself. But why would Senior Lu pick on Sect Master Yu? The two of them exchanged a glance. Miss Kong poked her head out between them and watched the battle. Huang Shiji glanced at her before looking at Hua Chongyang. Hua Chongyang understood what he was thinking. He said, no. If they took Kong hostage, they were only sealing their fates. Moreover, the Penglai sect and Nether sect would be dragged into this. Moreover, he could not bring himself to do such a thing. Bam. Zhenghai kept reeling. He kept losing, but he kept fighting. He struggled to his feet and said through gritted teeth, again. This scene reminded Zhenghai of the terrifying training process of the body-tempering realm when he first joined the Evil Sky Pavilion. That was a memory he could never get rid of for the rest of his life. His master had trained him with a regime that was 100 times stricter than what the others were subjected to. His training continued regardless of the seasons, whether it was freezing cold or sweltering hot. Ji Tiandao had tempered his body and will day after day, year after year. It was normal for him to be beaten up. Staying inside an icy cave naked and being exposed to the scorching sun were regular components of his routine. Perhaps it was due to his body, he successfully tempered his body and entered the mystic enlightening realm in 10 years. It would not be an exaggeration to say the hardships he went through were equivalent to the collective hardships the other 8 disciples went through, if not more. The two of them fought for what seemed like hours. Zhenghai had lost count of the times he was sent flying. Bam. Zhenghai was sent flying again. Senior Lu, I'm begging you. Thud. Surprisingly, Wuya fell to his knees at this moment. Without a second word, Hua Chongyang ran to Wuya's side and fell to his knees as well. Zhenghai was lying on the ground, panting heavily as he looked at the night sky. He was exhausted, he no longer wished to move. He felt as though all his internal organs were injured. Lu Zhou sighed. Hang in there. I can't let this rascal off so easily. With or without primal chi, his old bones were not made to withstand long battles. He had underestimated this rascal's tenacity. He looked at Wuya and asked, "You're kneeling for him? Please spare the sect master, Senior Lu." Hua Chongyang prostrated himself. When he heard this, Zhenghai suddenly shouted, "All or nothing." He charged toward Lu Zhou like a bull, advancing with much greater strength than before. Lu Zhou frowned slightly. Just how much strength does this rascal have? The Wuqi tribe, huh? Should I act shamelessly? Zhenghai did not have any complicated thoughts in his mind. Once he had a goal or target, he would not give up until he got what he wanted. He leaped to the side with the aura of a mountain bearing down. Whoosh. Instead of retreating, Lu Zhou advanced. He looked up and raised his hand at lightning speed. As the saying went, 4 ounces could lift 1,000 caddies. Zhenghai suddenly backed away, laughing. You've been tricked. He pushed both his palms down. Lu Zhou suddenly felt Zhenghai had the force of 10,000 ounces. Was this another characteristic of the Wuqi tribe? His finger shone with a blue light as he said in a deep voice, "Rise." He pushed up, holding Zhenghai up with his hand. The others were shocked. Similarly, Wuya and Hua Chongyang looked at this scene in shock. Zhenghai knew how heavy his technique was. He was almost certain no one could withstand his attack without using primal chi. How is this possible? In just a blink of an eye, Lu Zhou tossed Zhenghai, and Zhenghai sailed through the air again. Zhenghai fell to the ground with a loud crash before he rolled around. He felt as though the world was spinning at this moment. Lu Zhou said, "Trying to trick me?" When Zhenghai came to a stop, he endured the pain and looked at Lu Zhou, clearly frightened. It did not work. He lost again. He had lost completely. Fear washed over Zhenghai's heart. He thought he was peerless in body tempering. Why was this old man so outrageously powerful? He felt despair rising in his heart as well. It seemed like everyone was as significant as an ant in front of a 9-leaf cultivator. At this point, you can do whatever you want with me, be it to kill or to flay me alive. He had never felt this kind of despair before. Do you think I don't dare to kill you? Zhou tapped the ground lightly with his foot. Primal chi surged. When the primal chi rippled out, everyone present felt their hearts sink. This was the end. A palm strike sailed through the air at this moment.